So as you know, with me, it's not just the classic cars and commercials that I'm into. I'm also into collecting, and I do buy and sell a bit of automobilia, not a lot. I would say I'm more of a collector than a dealer, but I do get offered quite a bit through the cars, I suppose. And I'll show you an example of something I was offered the other day. And you know, it's a pretty good way to get offered stuff, I suppose. But on the subject of automobilia, I'd just like to talk to you quickly about a recent auction and a recent sign that was sold for a record-breaking amount of money. And there is the Chiffon's auction catalogue, which they very kindly sent me. Most of the auction companies send me catalogues, I suppose. If you're a half-tidy customer, they'll send you them. Great catalogue, great auction company. But auctioneers, really quick. Obviously, they're used to auctioning a lot of plant and machinery, and I'm just guessing, but I guess they'd come from a livestock sort of auctioneering background. Anyway, some fantastic stuff in the auction. But this one here, the large Stepney, which is a fantastic sign, and I don't own. I own a little small Stepney, made £71,000, I believe, plus commission, which is about £83,000. So, is that madness? £71,000 for an enamel sign? You know, I'm not so sure, because when you go on the continent, you go to America, Australia, South Africa, you know, the price of signs, they're up there. America especially. I mean, I don't follow American stuff because I'm not a big fan of it, but I've seen, you know, these big neon Coca-Cola things make $150,000. So, you know, £70,000 for what has to be one of the ultimate. I wouldn't say it is the ultimate, not in my eyes, but one of the ultimate signs out there. Is it a lot of money? Yes, it's a lot of money. Are you spending money? Not really. You're just changing it from one thing into another. So you're taking it from paper and you're putting it into steel. Anyway, I'll show you a smaller version of that sign in a minute. So I'm in my little museum. We'll have a walk down. I'll show you the other version. There it is. There's the smaller one. Now, there was a smaller one sold at Chiffon's auction. I don't know what that made, to be fair. I've had mine, I don't know, 8 years or something. It's had restoration done to it, so it's not 100% unrestored sign. But for me, I'm happy with it. Would I buy another one to replace it with if I found a better one? Possibly. Or would I just use that money to fund looking for another big Stepney? But ultimately, when the price is £70,000, the answer's probably no. I have a tendency to think, and I did have a conversation at the weekend with a fellow collector, that there will be others come out of the woodwork, although there is apparently only so many known. But you just, like I keep harping back to that saying again, you just don't know what's round the corner from you. You don't know what's in them sheds. There's still stuff out there. I'm still pulling old cars out of sheds that there's only supposed to be a couple on the road. Oh, here's another one. You know, deceased estates. You know, estate agents ringing us saying, the house is up for sale and there's a car in the garage, and you turn up. 9 times out of 10, it's a you know, it's a rotten old Morris Marine or something like that. But there's the times when you go and you do find some real gems. Anyway, I'm going to nip up the yard and show you what I've been buying in the back of a van, and I haven't took it out yet because it's still heavy. So, we'll have a look in the van. And there it is, the beast in all its glory. Not really a massive petrol pump collector, to be honest with you. But what drew me to this one was, I haven't really studied it yet. I'm going to go up the back of the van. It says private. It's got some sort of decal on there, and I don't know whether it's GPO or something like that, but I'm not going to restore this pump or get it restored. I'm just going to try and clean it up and put it on display, because I think it'll look nicer just cleaned up without being over blinged, if you know what I mean. And if it is something like GPO or post office or whatever, I'll probably put it in my little museum and keep it, because it's nice. Earlier on there I said somebody rang me offering us a few bits and bobs, and they rang up and they showed me a picture of a rare globe that I haven't got. And he said, oh, I found it in my granddad's loft. So they sent me a picture and I gave them a valuation, which they accepted. And unfortunately for them, and me I suppose, the globe is damaged. It's got a crack in it, well, a little tiny piece out actually. And if it hadn't had that damage, obviously it would have been worth a lot more to them. They would have gotten a lot more money than what I offered them. And it's a shame really, but I still own the globe, and it's a rare one, and I haven't got it. And here is the globe, and I can get round there a little bit. There's the damage on the corner. So there you go. Travel down the country for that little ace globe. Tell us what you think of it with the damage in the comments. Was it worth buying? Was it worth not buying? Would you have a globe that was damaged, or are you just into perfect globes? I think if you haven't got one, and they're very rare, I think even if you've got a damaged one, it's a good little buy. You're back to that old thing. You don't know what anybody's got that lives round the corner from you. A friend of mine rang us from at least, I don't know, he must live 350 miles away. Real passionate collector, and a nice chap. And this is the bit I like about my hobby. You do get some people that are, how shall I say it? I wouldn't say jealous, but you know, devious and sly, and I've got to have it, and you know, and the way I kind of look at it, and a few of my friends look at it, was like, you know, if I don't buy it, and such doesn't buy it, but such and such does buy it, well, fair enough, you know. But there's a lot of people out there, they don't think like that. I mean, these guys were 350, 400 miles away from me, so right down the country, and he rang us up and he said, Andrew, is there any chance you can pick us these globes up? We found them up online for sale, and I don't think they're very far from where you live. And I had a look and I said, yeah, no bother. And that were actually only about 8 or 9 miles away from where I live. So, you know, you just don't know what people have. That's what the point of this is. You just, you know, you just don't know, you know, because we're always chasing stuff that's miles away, you know, especially with the classic cars. I'll jump in a car and I'll go miles, you know, right down Reading or Southampton or Kent or up Scotland, and sometimes you can just find stuff on your doorstep anyway. The guy who had them for sale, I think it was his brother-in-law or something, and I went and I picked them up, and I've brought them back, and I'll be taking them down to Bewley in May, and it's just a thing what, you know, I think fellow collectors should do for each other, really. I mean, we're all in the same boat. Well, this is how I think anyway, you know, and you know, no matter how good your collection is, there's always somebody got something that you haven't. And that's the great thing about collecting. You know, people come and see my little collection and they'll say, oh, I can't take it all in, and there's all this and you've got this. And, you know, like I say, well, my collection's not as good as such and such collection, and his collection or her collection's not as good as such and such collection. And that's what makes the collecting thing, you know, so interesting to me. So anyway, here are the globes. So there's a power regular, super national, and the rarer one, the power diesel. So, what do you think of the prices at the minute for automobilia in general, globes, signs? With that Stepney Tyres sign doing 71,000 plus commission, I think it was 83,000 at the local Shiffins auction. What do you think? Put it in the comments. Have people gone crazy? Has the collecting world become an expensive man's plaything? Is it somewhere just to siphon money away? Or what is it? Is it a good investment? Is it a bad investment? Personally, I buy with my heart, not my head. Always have done, and it makes me happy. So I'm not interested in the value, if it's gone up or down. Of course I am, got a little bit of interest. I'm not, you know, I'd be silly if I wasn't, but I don't think somebody's, you know, lost 10 quid or somebody's made 100 quid. You know, I buy this stuff and collect it because I like collecting, because I'm a collector. So if you like this video or any of the videos we do, please like, share and subscribe. And please put something in the comments. Have a comment about it, even if it's criticism. I don't mind. I'm not bothered. My shoulders are big enough, as well as other bits of my body. Anyway, we'll not go into that. Bye-bye now.